Conditions on the grounds out there. We still have about a 2-block area of the village of Clarence Center, or the hamlet of Clarence Center, off limits and secured. The state police has put up a perimeter there that's very secure. We do not want the public to come down and see what's happened. We need time to get the fires under control. It's still a very hot scene.
At the Buffalo Airport in Gordon. At the Buffalo Airport in Gordon. At the Buffalo Airport in Gordon.
Good afternoon. The top story this lunchtime on Friday, the 13th of February. 49 people die in a plane crash in New York State. It happened early this morning and the aircraft came down in a built-up area of the city of Buffalo, hitting a house. All 44 passengers and 4 crew on board the plane died, and 1 person on the ground was also killed. A local newspaper in Buffalo is reporting that among the dead was the widow of a 9/11 victim. Well, fire crews remain at the scene, cooling it down. According to reports, the plane was carrying over 2,200 kilos of aviation fuel and exploded on impact, unleashing a huge fireball.
It was real loud. It was just right down the street, like a quarter mile. And the next thing you know, we heard it crash. So we looked out the window and there's bright lights, so we decided to run down here. We got down here pretty quick. There was like maybe like 10 other people there before like the firemen and stuff like that came out. And it was just a big fire. It was hot. We were like maybe like 4 houses away from it.
I thought a plow with its blade down had struck a transformer pole. That's kind of what it sounded like. And then I thought, no, that couldn't have been it. It must have been an earthquake.
Well, here's what we know so far about the plane's journey. The Continental Connection flight 3407, operated by Colgan Air, took off from Newark in New Jersey. It was traveling to Buffalo's Niagara Airport in New York State. And it crashed into a house in the Buffalo suburb of Clarence Center in heavy rain and sleet, just 10 miles short of its destination. All 48 people on board and 1 person on the ground died. Local officials have confirmed the plane was a 74-seat Bombardier Q400. That's a turboprop plane. And it's the first fatal crash involving a commercial airliner in the United States since August 2006. Well, a recording of what's thought to be the last communication between the plane and the control tower has been released. And the conversation on the plane's final approach to the airport gives no hint of any trouble.
3407, 3 miles from Clump, turn left, heading 260, maintain 2,300 till established, localized and cleared out, approach runway 23.
Left 260, 2,300 till established and cleared out, 23, approach Colgan 3407.
Colgan 3407, Cascade Tower, 120.5, have a good night.
3407.
Well, earlier this morning, emergency services and local officials updated us with the latest information they have from the scene of the crash.
There's a lot of investigation in progress, as you can expect. It's been a long night. I'll start off by updating everybody on the...
Correspondent in New York and has been following this for us. Just bring us right up to date with what the authorities are saying now. Still quite early in the morning where you are, Laura.
That's right. Well, investigators are on their way to the scene. What they're saying is that everybody on board the plane died and 1 person on the ground, 49 people. It's really not clear what happened at this point. The plane crashed into a house just on the outskirts of Buffalo, about 5 miles away from the airport itself. Audio of recordings between the pilot and air traffic control show that everything seemed to be normal. Then the plane just disappeared from the radar. Some potential indications are emerging from audio recordings with other pilots in the area. Shortly afterwards, they're reporting ice on their wings. Apparently there was sleet and snow. This potentially could be a clue. But the scene at the moment is just so hot from the explosion caused when the plane crashed into the house that investigators aren't even yet able to get actually into the scene to try and retrieve that crucial black box recorder which will contain valuable information for investigators. But some details are emerging about the passengers on the plane, and one really heartrending story that one of the victims, according to a local newspaper, was Beverly Eckert, whose husband died in the 9/11 attacks, and she was on her way to Buffalo to present a scholarship in memory of her husband, and her family have said that she's now with her husband.
And so many desperate stories to come, of course, like that. It was absolutely awful for everyone on the plane. But when you look at the pictures that are emerging from the scene, I mean, it does seem remarkable in quite a densely packed residential area that more people weren't hurt on the ground. I mean, are the authorities confident that there isn't anyone unaccounted for there?
Well, it seems that what happened is that the plane crashed into that one home. It killed one person in the house. The other two were evacuated. So, and the plane crashed right opposite a volunteer fire station, and immediately, so there were emergency services on the scene who rushed outside and appear to have evacuated everybody. But there is a command centre which has been set up in Buffalo. As you say, it's still very early in the morning here, so more details to emerge as the sun rises.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you for now.